I'm Linda Nickell, and welcome to the Happiness Hour. Every Wednesday, photographers meet here to connect, inspire, and create. Our guest speakers share their images, tips and techniques, and a little bit of inspiration to help you improve your own photography skills. The schedule for upcoming presentations is on my website at lindanickell.com, as well as the links to previous sessions on my YouTube channel. Tonight's guest is my friend Sarika. Sarika is a wildlife photographer based in Mumbai, India. She spends her time studying and educating others about the wildlife species found across India. Her passion for travel and photography merged into a career change, and she has spent the last 12 years exploring and photographing the jungles of her beloved country. These days, Sarika organizes guided jungle safaris and birdwatching tours throughout India. In tonight's presentation, A Journey to the Indian Wildlife, Sarika will share images that reflect the rich variety of wildlife that roam the mountains, beaches, and deserts of India. If you're on Instagram, look for her at Sarika_, and I'm going to spell this. Her last name is Prabhudesai. And don't worry, I'm going to link it in the show notes so that you can just hit a link and get to her page. With that, welcome to the Happiness Hour, Sarika. So before you get started, I have apologized to you many, many times. I've been practicing. I practice in front of you. I cannot pronounce your last name, so to spare you from hearing it being butchered one last time. So can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello everyone, I am Sarika Prabhudesai.
Okay, see, it sounds easy.
From India.
All right, so
no problem. Even I sometimes cannot pronounce your names.
Oh, good. Okay, that makes me feel so much better. Oh, okay, so I skimmed just a little bit about you, your bio. So is there anything that I missed that you want to share with us? Like, I know that you've been shooting for, I don't know, like 12 years. Is that what?
12 years, yes.
Yeah. So what got you interested? Because you were not a photographer off the bat. You were in the finance. You were a finance,
But I always had a passion for wildlife.
Okay.
Since school days.
Okay.
So,
and then what made
post graduation, I decided to pursue my passion.
Okay. Well, good for you. But what made you pick up your camera?
My camera, I did not pick my camera. My camera was gifted by my father.
Okay. But no, I mean, what made you decide I'm going to, what got you interested in photography?
I liked clicking those pictures because I would like to get maximum number of species and make people aware what we have and what we need to conserve.
So what is your dream animal that you have not photographed yet or found?
My dream animals are many, which I haven't yet photographed. Okay. Yes. So I'm planning for red panda, then snow leopard, and even a clouded leopard.
Oh, I've only seen a snow leopard on TV. So yeah.
Even I have seen it.
Yeah, that would be a dream. That would be a dream animal for me too. All right. I know that it's very early in India, and I thank you so much for it. For those of you that haven't looked at the world clock, it's about 6 a.m. her time. So not only did she get up early to do this presentation, she has a couple of friends in here that she must have great blackmail on for them to get up that early, because Elaine and I were talking earlier, and Elaine would not do that for me, but I would do it for Elaine. So I love you, Elaine. But with that, Sarika, when did you get started?
My journey into wildlife photography began when my father gifted me a DSLR, that is Canon 1000D, with kit lenses plus a macro lens in 2007. So ever since, my goal is to capture maximum number of species, to study them and to create awareness regarding their importance to nature and to us. So, and this presentation is all about Indian wildlife and what to expect when you visit India. This is good?
Yeah, it looks good. Yes.
So, I feel it is important to study wildlife. So, in case of birds, study their behavior, nesting, breeding seasons, feeding habits, etc. The more you learn about wildlife you are shooting, the better you will be photographing at them. Study their traits and habits. It will give you an idea what to expect when you are shooting. And it will also help if you study the area in which you are shooting. So you can get comfortable, and even getting good backgrounds, you need to study the area. So we'll start the presentation. I clicked this photo in a resort in Madhya Pradesh. This bird is called paradise flycatcher. Only males have these long tail feathers. So rufous color here indicates that this bird is at amateur stage. An adult is full white color with dark blue head and of course a white long tail. So when it flies, it looks like a white ribbon is flying. Females do not have long feathers. And it also migrates locally. So if you wish to photograph this particular bird, you need to know the months in which they appear. So in case of portraits, you can just focus on eyes. This image is from Tadoba Tiger Reserve in my state. This photo particularly is unique because this bird usually sits in tall trees. So I was lucky to find this bird sitting at an eye level branch. And I have also received an award for this photograph, and it was displayed at a prestigious Piramal Art Gallery in Mumbai. So as I said earlier, you need to focus on eyes. So wait until the bird or an animal looks into your lens. I was waiting for nearly 15 to 20 minutes until the bird looked at me before clicking this photograph. So you need to be patient always. So and then be alert. Be alert. Look for signs of a bird who is about to take a flight. So keep your focus locked, and for panning, move along the subject's direction. It will help you get a good panning shot. And for this, you can practice with a moving vehicle or people walking on the streets. This is the paradise flycatcher female, which I was talking about earlier, which doesn't have a long tail feathers. It took almost 40 minutes for me to take this photograph. Actually, I had gone for a business meeting in the Konkan region, and I always carry my camera, as you never know what opportunity you might get to photograph animals. So during the meeting, I heard this bird's call. So it is important you know your bird calls, so you can identify which bird you are going to shoot. So as the meeting got over, I was out with my camera chasing this bird. So this is very easy to identify with orange or cinnamon colored bird with zebra striped wings and a crest. But there is a twist. This crest is usually closed, like you can see in the photograph, and often raised like a Chinese fan just after landing, only for a few seconds. So you need to be quick enough to click it. And for this, you should know this behavior in advance.
So how do you say the name of this bird?
Huppu. This is called huppu.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
These are spotted owlets. Though this is one of my favorite bird, but owls as a whole species misconsidered as a bad omen in India. In some cultures, it is also referred as a vehicle or a mount of goddess Lakshmi. This spotted owlet. These are collared scops owls. These are extremely difficult to spot as they are master of camouflage. So I would recommend to go along with a local guide who knows where the animals are, when they will move, and he would also know about the terrain, he or she. This is a red vented bulbul, but this bird is usually dark brown and white and light brown patches with a bright red spot at the bottom. But this is an albino. Birds that lack color pigment melanin have a genetic mutation called albinism. I saw this bird at Nal Sarovar in Gujarat state. It is a stopover for migrating birds. So the best time to spot migration in India, migrating birds in India, is from November to March. So study of wild animals or birds have always helped me in getting the right photograph. Like in case of this pheasant-tailed jacana, in breeding season, it gets its breeding plumage. Its feathers get highlighted, it grows a long tail. But this happens only during the breeding season. So you should know which month to visit to get this photograph. And I would recommend to try and explore the relationship between human and animal environment. So you can see those two people in the photograph are from forest department, and they patrol the area. They check for any if there are any poachers around, or if there are any fishing, illegal fishing going on, or if anyone is hunting birds. They keep a check. And this photo is from a watchtower. There are a few watchtowers around the place, so you can get on it, sit, and photograph the birds. These are spot-billed ducks and red-billed ducks. There are two duck species in the photo. So for bird photography, I would always recommend to carry a good set of binoculars or a spotting scope. This saves your time and efforts so that you don't have to move every time the bird does. And you can observe it from a distance and make notes, and then you can know where to set your camera or when to shoot. So timing is very important when you are targeting such kind of clicks. So you need to allow travel time to get to the location. You also need to allow travel time to find the subject at the right place. So for clicking this particular photograph, we reached almost 2 hours before the sunrise. And then we roamed around the area. We found this particular blackbuck male, and we got into the right position and have clicked this photograph. This is also one of the preferred types of shot, like animals in habitat. These kind of images are welcomed at magazines, which gives information about the birds or animals. So actions in wildlife happen at a blink of an eye. So you have to be prepared all the time. So I clicked this image at Bandhavgarh National Park. We were waiting at a junction to decide where to head to find a tiger. And suddenly there was a hustle in the bushes, and I saw the glimpse of this deer coming out. I quickly judged its movements and the direction in which it was going and set my camera accordingly. I was carrying a very heavy lens, but still I managed to get this shot. This is an uncropped and unedited image. I have kept it as it is. Leopard, one of my favorite animals, is an elusive and most adaptable member of the cat family. This image is from Bandipur Tiger Reserve. I have also assisted leopard rescue centers for photographing and recording their behavior of leopards. It was a wonderful experience. the spectacled or Indian cobra. Cobras are worshipped in India. Every year, many cobras are rescued from the hands of snake charmers. This was also a rescued snake from a house in Goa, and I had an opportunity to clip this before releasing it to the wild. I have also assisted in snake operations, snake rescue operations, and I have also handled non-venomous snakes. So now let's come to the showstopper of Indian jungles. In 40s, tiger population was estimated around 40,000 individuals. By the year 1970, the population declined at an alarming rate, and the threat of extinction arose. Only 1,500 individuals were left due to hunting and widespread habitat destruction. So Project Tiger was launched in 1973 with an objective of maintaining and increasing tiger population. So there are now 50 tiger reserves in India, welcoming tourists to explore jungles and in open gypsies. Tracking tiger is an interesting process. One of the most followed clues is to detect the presence of a predator. To look for its pug marks. From the size and shape of the pug mark, one can identify the gender of the tiger and how old it is or how big it is. And even the freshness of the pug mark can reveal its whereabouts. So, from few of the animals which are prey to the tiger, they also give alarm calls once they sense or they see a predator. So this also helps in tracking the tiger. And then you just have to wait till the tiger appears in front of you. So, and tigers are constantly marking their territories through the scent marks, urine sprays, and claw marks on the tree barks. This photograph is from Bandipur Tiger Reserve. Seasons are also important when you visit India. If you want to get a good photograph with green background, you should always visit post-monsoon. And in summers, usually the background you get is all brown. So you also need to plan your tour that way. This is a predator and a prey in one frame. For this particular photo, I had to adjust vehicles several times to get the right angle. This sambar deer was so thirsty. Even though the tiger was sitting in the pond, it gathered its courage to go near the water and drink, go near the pond and drink the water. And the tiger did not even bother to get up because it already had its feast the last night. So as I told you the story in less than a minute, but this particular moment, it actually for an hour long. And we were waiting patiently for some action to happen. The tiger will chase the sambar or sambar will do some actions looking at the tiger. But nothing happened. We had to settle for this photograph. So many times this happens. You go in the jungle and you wait for something or you have some photographs in mind, but you get something else every time. But most of the time this happens. So now there are 6 different ways you can explore Indian jungles. First is jungle safaris in open gypsy, sitting in hides for bird watching, exploring jungles through nature walks, taking boat ride for bird watching, macro photography in rainy seasons for amphibians and reptiles. Then last is trekking over mountains to explore animals like snow leopard, red panda, birds in Himalayas like Himalayan monal, vultures like lammergeier, etc. So your preparation changes according to the type you opt. Jungle safaris are comparatively easy and less exhausting as you are exploring jungles in an open gypsy. So here the drawback is you cannot set your tripod you always have to rely on monopod or sandbags or beanbags. So you can rest your cameras accordingly. And here you can expect crowd, because lot of people have nowadays started doing jungle safaris. So every day you will have to prepare. Every day there is a rush for bookings, and so you will have to prepare your tour well in advance, so get your desired zone. And while taking boat ride, you have to take an extra care of your gears, because you are floating in water. Sitting in heights is also an easy approach for getting close-ups, like taking portraits. So, but here the patience is must. And trekking over mountains to photograph birds and animals with carrying all your gears and accessories can be exhausting. But you can always have a porter who will carry your luggage for you. So if you are visiting in winter, please carry an extra set of batteries, as the cold weather drains batteries faster. So there are few basic unwritten rules to follow while you are doing wildlife photography. First is be ethical. Take care of animals or birds you are shooting. Never interrupt. Then observe wildlife from a distance. Do not follow or approach them directly. Do not go alone. Then never try to feed animals. Like feeding wild animals may alter their natural behavior and even may damage them. And before entering in any jungles, you need to take proper permits from the forest department, and that too in advance. And be silent, dress properly. Your attire should blend with the surroundings, so that aren't getting noticed by the animals, and you can photograph them peacefully. And last but the most important part, which many of us forget, even sometimes I forget about it, is to check camera settings before entering the jungle. Because a lot of time it happens, you have entered a jungle in the evening, and the next morning your settings are similar. So you might get an ISO higher, you might get your shutter speed is higher, shutter speed is lower. So you might miss some opportunities if your camera is not ready. So you can always tweak your settings while photographing, but you wouldn't want to start fresh. So anything can happen any minute in wildlife. So be prepared all the time. Thank you so much.
Okay, so actually you still have a couple more slides. You want to go ahead and flip through those? You
Okay.
have your contact slide?
Yes, this is my contact slide. You can contact me anytime.
Yeah.
As Linda said, I'm crazy. I can get up anytime, so you can call me anytime.
Hey, that works out great for me though. You guys can screenshot that, or I will link all of that in the YouTube videos. So when it goes to YouTube, you'll be able just to click on that. Okay, so take down your screen. A couple of questions, mostly these are questions from me. How far were you from the cobra? How close? What kind of lens? How long is your lens? Are you cropped in? Is it so what kind of lenses are you using for that kind of shot?
I have two types of cameras. One is bridge camera, Sony RX10. Its lenses are not interchangeable. So it is 24/600, the lens, even it is a wide angle. Yeah. Okay. So clicking the Cobra, I use that camera. And I always maintain distance from the wildlife. Even I have Canon, even Sigma 156-500, then Canon 100-400.
Okay.
Even I do macro photography. I have Tamron 90mm lens.
Okay. Yeah, I think it might have been a note in here from Valerie that she was just like, that is a crazy looking snake picture. She was wondering if you were laying on the ground. Were you? Were you
Yes,
okay.
I was.
Yeah. Do you have like spotter? That's crazy. But I'm fascinated by them. I'm a little terrified by snakes, but I'm also a little fascinated, and I don't. I'll take a picture if I get a chance of it. Um, the second question I saw on here, it's a question from Karen Riley. She wants to know: has an animal ever come towards you and gotten too close? And then what did you do?
Yes, it had happened once. It has happened once that animal got very closer to me.
What kind of
And
animal? What kind of animal?
sorry,
What kind of animal? Like a
it
tiger?
was a snake.
Oh,
It
snake.
was a snake.
Like a tiger, not really liking that idea. A mouse, okay, whatever.
No,
Okay,
it was a venomous snake.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Only thing I did was to stand still.
yeah, okay.
I did not make any kind of movement. And for it was there for 5 minutes, and I felt like it was like 5 hours.
Wow. Yeah. I know all of a sudden those moments in your life flash before you. Um, so let's see
And
here.
I always feel if you don't bother animals, they will not bother you. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the big lie, but okay, tell ourselves that. It's a lie. Susan's curious, where were you when you shot the tiger in the water? Were you in a blind?
No, I was in an open gypsy,
So you were in an open vehicle?
open vehicle, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Uh,
Because
Usually tiger safaris are done in open vehicles.
okay, because it does look in that photo of the different, I guess the safari jeeps, I'm not sure what they are. They look low to the ground because
Yes.
especially that tiger, you're almost eye to eye. So that's a good question because I wasn't sure because another Sue, we have Susans and Sue. Sue says that tiger looks like he's staring you down, and he did. It was it was a pretty intense look at you. So Mika's curious, do you go out photographing on your own or are you always with others?
No, both the things. I go on my own as well. If I'm going for the first time at some location, I always go alone or with one of my friends.
Okay.
And then I take people to the location.
Okay.
So I get familiar first and then I take people there.
Right, right. So okay, so you're in Mumbai. So how far are you traveling to get to some of these reserves? Are they nearby or are you traveling? Like I was talking.
No, all it is like if you are going by train, it is an overnight journey
Mhm.
and you reach by lunch next day.
Right.
And if you're taking a flight, it is almost 2, 3 hours distance.
Oh,
Two,
wow.
3 hours.
Okay, yeah, I was talking to your colleague earlier and she said that, their train ride it takes a day to get there. And I thought, wow. And that's pretty dedicated to
And
get
even it depends upon the where you're going. If you are going northeast, it takes almost 2 days to uh,
to
get to
travel.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Susan had a good question. You were talking about permits. What kind of like you as a tour guide, do you take care of the permits or me as
Yes,
a
we
traveler?
do take care of the permits. They are like entry fees. You have to pay forest department, and the permits are issued on your name.
Okay. Okay. So it's something that you as a guide would take care of. Um,
Definitely.
if someone is coming to India and they want to photograph, let's say tigers, what's the best time of the year to come on a safari?
Okay. Usually national parks, like I told, there are 50 tiger reserves in India. They are open from October to June.
Okay.
In monsoon, they are closed. You
Okay.
cannot do the safaris, and it depends on what kind of photography you wish to do. So if you want a tiger in green background, you should visit post monsoon, like November, December to January end.
Okay.
Post
So
that, the jungle starts drying.
right. Okay. So Nate is curious. How about snow leopards? When do we come for snow leopards?
Snow leopards are winters,
Winter animals?
from November to March.
Okay. And so you'd mentioned there'd be trekking or hiking. How much, just selfishly curious, how much hiking are you talking? Because I'm not a hiker, but if I want a snow leopard, how hard do I have to work to
Snow
get?
leopards are at higher altitude, almost 12,000, 13,000 feet.
Oh, so I would
Yeah.
die to get a photo. Okay. So, okay.
No,
So, Nate, you're on your own. Just post something.
I'll let you know.
I saw a documentary not too long ago, and it was on snow leopards, and I'll have to admit I was like, wow, I would love to do that, but I had some issues at what was the altitude in Colorado? So a mile up, what is that, 3,000?
5280.
Yeah, I didn't do well in Denver, so I'm pretty much gonna die if I go look for a snow leopard. But all right, well,
and even you should have 7 to 8 days to for photographing snow leopards.
So I have to stay there for 7 to 8 days because it's not going to just come out and go, "Hey, Linda, shoot me."
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Well, that could happen. All right, Sarika, I didn't see any other questions. You did so well. Thank you for doing this. This is your first international presentation. You did.
This is the first time I've talked so much.
Well, you did a great job. And I know, I mean, I can tell people now she was a little nervous, but she's like, I'm going to do this. I'm very excited about it. And you did great. So your photos are beautiful. There was one bird in there, and I thought, I was thinking of two people that are in the room. One was Ben Cowan and the other one was Sue Pitts. And we're looking at it. It was the one that you won the award on. It was the, what was it called? It was the hawk.
Crested hawk eagle. Yeah, changeable hawk eagle.
The changeable. Yes, I was like changeable. But yeah, I thought, ooh,
No, it is called changeable because there are different types of morph, dark morph, brown, pale morph. It changes according to the season.
Oh, it was beautiful. Just that stare down. It was a beautiful bird. But I also like the other one that I made you.
I also have the bird here.
The hoopoe.
Hoopoe, yes.
Oh yeah, that little crown. I could get excited about him. All right, you guys, you can connect with Sarika on Instagram at Sarika _ say your last name for me. Sarika _
Prabhudesai.
Okay.
Prabhudesai.
I'm going to link that in the show notes for everybody. Next week, Keith French will be here to talk about light metering in his presentation called Using, Interpreting, and Fact Checking Your Camera's Light Meter. Until next time, go out and